Hello, family, and welcome back to the Ebony Odyssey. My name is Jermaine Long, and I am a servant of the Most High God. I really appreciate you for coming along, and as always, enjoy the journey. Today's a real talk episode. I just want to talk about some of the things that have happened in these last 2 days, and just how the God just continues to give me inspiration every day when dealing with the troubles of the day. So these past couple of days, we had a great win because we finished taking care of some of our business, finishing paying off some of the land, getting things together for the movie night that we're going to have for the kids. And all of a sudden, adversity strikes a little bit. Had some issues going with the car. It's been down for most of the day. So I didn't waste a lot of time trying to run around and do something. It's at the shop, it's getting fixed. So whatever will be, will be. We had a couple of other issues with, personnel having to just remove people from our situation. It's unfortunate, but God puts people in places for a reason, and sometimes you just have to remove those that are distractions. Those are some of the things that have been on my mind lately, these past 2 days, trying to make sure that we keep going in the right direction, and that's God's direction. So as we come to this day where I have had the whole day, I've been just kind of relaxing and reading the word. So that's why I say, like, it's no bad days, even though all of the things we may have went through for these last 2 days. We even had another mini dispute with the land we just purchased, but it came to nothing. And having paperwork when you do business, having paperwork when you acquire things, having lawyer signatures, having everything done the correct way, makes things a lot easier. So always, if you're coming to any part of the continent, make sure that you have your T's crossed and your I's dotted. Make sure everything lines up with how it's supposed to be, and then move forward and see how far you can go with things being done the right way. So with all that being said, today was a day that I got a chance to spend a lot of time with the Lord. I really committed myself to just diving in and reading His Word for most of the day. Today I was in the book of Yasher. As I continued on, I got through a good couple of chapters today by just reading and just letting it soak in. And some of the things I guess I wanted to talk about is, how Joseph was sold to the Midians, and then the Midians sold him to the Ishmaelites, and the Ishmaelites sold him to the people in Egypt. I think about this story, and I only think about this because of how we do each other, and this is strictly for, those of African American descent. We would do each other in the most, egregious ways or horrible ways, and I look at the story of Joseph, how, he had kind of exalted himself, above his brothers, and it was just based on, his knowledge of God. And, should he have said it a different way? Yeah, maybe he should have. Even his father corrected him on that. But at the same time, we look back and we see the story of where, the jealousy and envy came in, and they wanted to do away with him. Reading through the book of Yasher, it gives a little bit more detail to his, selling. And so me gaining that understanding of him being sold to the Midian the people of Midian or the Midianites, and then them selling him to the Ishmaelites. So that's a funny. It's not funny. It's just it's a weird, coincidence that he was sold to his own cousins in a sense, right? Because it was, Isaac and Ishmael, and that's where the Ishmaelites are coming from, and so, them not knowing, that he was, Joseph, the son of Isaac. We don't know our own family sometimes, and they would, that kind of who he was once they were kind of the Ishmaelites were kind of torturing him because he was weeping and crying because he had been taken away from his father and his family, and God was sending darkness and storms and clouds and varying degrees of turmoil on those Ishmaelites who had dealt roughly with Joseph. And that thought never entered their head that only the God that we serve is the Most High God. Only His strength can be shown throughout all of the ages. So they didn't even know that they were selling their own brothers, their own kinsmen to the Egyptians. And we often get ourselves in trouble selling our own brothers out, our own sisters out, and it's not a I'm not snitching type of thing, but we allow them to be, smitten is the word always used in the Bible or in the Apocrypha or in texts that refer to this time period. Hit, beat upon, roughed up, mistreated. We do that so often to our own people, and sell them off for little or nothing to people who don't even understand the true value. Because once Joseph was to arrive into Egypt, they saw the true value of him. They saw how, he made the houses flow correctly. He made everything function accordingly. And so that's always going to be, one of the things to remember, that we should not ever, go against those who are favored by God. It won't work to our benefit. It's not helpful to us. And I say all of that to come back to this story about, me even having to, remove one of the young men that has been with me for some time now away. I don't know, what he may be dealing with or what he may be going through. And, I feel for him because, I understand, everybody wants something that they can't have at a certain point in time. And, we let our desires outweigh, the common sense that we should have and the dealings that we have throughout the day to day. And, it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, you keep moving forward. And, with this being said, I just continue to pray that good things happen to this young man, because he is still near and dear to my heart, but we just have to move on for the continuity of the team that we have around us. And all of this being said, even with Joseph, he continued to move on throughout this darkness, this turmoil, and these instances where, he was not liked by people, to still do great things, and I know we're going to continue to move throughout this life with people who may not see our vision It may come against us often, but at the end of the day, seeing how the Most High continues to give us strength to get up every morning and continue to go out and do great things in His name, we will not succumb to any, turmoil or, any adversity. So family, as always, I appreciate you for listening, and as always, enjoy the journey.